is up, everybody? Welcome to Comic Book Club. I'm Alex.
I remain Justin.
I'm Pete.
And we're coming to you live from a couple of places on the internet. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X/Twitter, Instagram. Maybe you're listening later on the podcast platform of your choice. However you're watching, however you're listening, we love you.
Whoa.
Is that fair to say?
That's
Is
nice.
that good?
Wow.
I think that characterizes it perfectly. You out there have an itch for the Twitch? Check out the Twitch channel.
It's for the Twitch.
You know when you're watching like a sporting event and they cut to like the hometown viewing party?
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to occasionally cut to the Twitch party for people watching this.
Yeah, someday we're going to play a concert against the devil or something like that, and it's going to cut to all of these different places where we're broadcasting, and there's going to be different international people watching, different families and stuff, and they're all going to cheer when we beat the devil.
Sorry, real quick, did you say a concert against the devil?
Yeah, is this a
When was the last
Tenacious
time you
D
went to see
situation?
music, Alex?
What? Oh.
When did you go see music? There's
I've
very
never seen
few.
music.
There's very few like
You can see
fiddle
music
matches.
live? That's a thing?
Yeah, it's a great way to do it.
Oh, man. That's so cool.
Yeah. Not just cassette tapes.
Well, we are live. That's one of the things that I can tell you after this weird bit that we did at the beginning here. And we have some amazing guests for you
Yay,
tonight.
amazing guests.
Yeah, we do.
Later in the show, we're going to have the guys from Gungnir here to talk about their new publishing slate. But let's bring in our first guest right now. She's the artist behind Girl And Devil Dinosaur, Wreck and Roll, a new graphic novel that is in stores now. Ladies and gentlemen, Asia Simone, welcome.
Hey.
Welcome.
Hello.
Thank you. Hi, how are you guys?
Good. Thank you so
Great.
much for coming on. I don't want to, I do want to call you out here at the beginning. This is, I think, the first podcast interview you've done. Is that correct?
Yes.
Hey! Oh, wow. It's an honor.
Yes.
Real double black diamond of a podcast.
First of all,
Definitely extra
where do you
difficult.
get off? That's our
Yeah.
hardball question. No, I'm very excited to chat about this book. This is a graphic novel with Moon Girl, with Devil Dinosaur, per the title, but it is based directly on the Disney Channel show. It's Disney Channel on Disney Plus, however you watch it.
Yes.
So it is that continuity versus the Marvel Comics continuity.
Yes.
It looks great.
Yeah, it
Broad
does.
question first, because there's such a specific look to that show. You're coming in as the artist. What do you have to channel? How do you have to morph your style to ape the show? And where are you allowed to kind of like go wild a little bit?
So let's see. Well, I think a part of the reason I got the deal was because I think my style was in a similar world to Moon Girl, just happenstance. What was fun was kind of hitting the angles. It's a very like a sharp, angular style, and mine's is a lot more round and soft. So, so that was like a shift. And then I will say, I don't know if this is like, if anyone else feels this way, but I feel like kind of the eyes were tough to figure out. It's almost like similar to, I feel like the same reason anime is hard to draw is because there's like no structure for eyes. They're just floating in a surface. There's a structure, but you got to figure it out. So I
They
would
can
say
be any size also, so there's a lot of play in there.
Yeah. So I feel like that was like the thing that was the toughest most, but I would say style shift is kind of my thing. So it wasn't too difficult. Yeah.
Nice.
What kind of training that did you do? Did you watch all of the episodes? Did they give you the style sheets, or was it just kind
Did you pretend to be Moon Girl? Like, how did you get into it?
Yeah. So they gave me a design package, I think, which I'm assuming was probably like some form of like a pitch package that they gave me. It was very clean and stylized. It was very polished. Was the first package they gave me, but they also gave me access to literally all of the animation files. So like,
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
yeah, all the preliminary work. So I got the storyboards and character designs as well as like the actual episodes. So I kind of got to watch the episodes. I see the theme song and kind of just study it all. And then as I got to work on the project, I also asked for more designs of the characters so that I could see them in different positions. So they gave me an even bigger package, which is like the best thing ever. Because even now, as I make like promotional work, just to like promote it, and I'll be doing a bunch of conventions throughout the year, so it's really helpful. So I've gotten kind of good, pretty good, I would say, at drawing the characters at this point.
Yeah, are
Yes.
you? What's your dinosaur exposure? And are you now just like you close your eyes and just Devil Dinosaur comes out?
Okay, no, because I've never drawn. There's never been a harder character to draw than Devil Dinosaur. Oh
Ooh.
my
I
goodness, I
agree
don't.
with you.
Yeah, I don't know how they designed it. I don't know if it's like I'm not an animal person as much as I am a people person in terms of drawing. So maybe it's just a bigger learning curve. But like, I'm just glad I figured it out now. I don't know. I can't explain it. He's just so hard to draw. He doesn't make sense. It's like, okay.
Arms are too tiny. The arms are too small.
The arms are too small. But also, it's like if I get like as someone who can style shift kind of easy. If I'm getting someone's style, it's like I understand basic human anatomy enough to be able to, transition and change. I'm not drawing dinosaurs all the time, so I just have no understanding of how dinosaurs work. So yeah, he was hard.
We all humans famously don't really understand. So it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
One of the characters you get to introduce here, I believe, unless I missed this episode, is the Collector, is the villain. Very fun look to the Collector in this book. Really ties in very nicely to the world of the show and the graphic novel. But how much were you looking to like Jeff Goldblum Collector and then tweaking it versus comics, say?
It was very much do Jeff Goldblum, but like for this, which was fun. Like I got to, that was one of the characters I got to design myself. So it was very much, they were like, we want this somehow different, but this. And I was like, okay, great, I can do that. So
Different, but like the same.
Yes. Yeah, pretty much.
Easy Reader has a good question here. Was it difficult to draw all the different gadgets and inventions Moon Girl comes up with? And I want to add a second question, I guess. Like, did you get to just go wild with sort of thinking about being creative with it?
So most of the gadgets that you'll see in this book, I don't think any of them were from the show, or they weren't like very canon. So there was just like a few devices. They were like, hey, can you just make this? And to be honest, it was really fun. I wouldn't call it difficult. It was fun because I don't know how other people do sci-fi, but as someone who's like, I'm not really in the world of sci-fi, I don't know tech that well. So my solution was just add a bunch of details and it'll look like it's technical somehow.
Throw some buttons on there. That's how they do it. That's how Apple does it.
Yeah, so I got to design the skates for the kind of like a teen gang that's in the story. I got to design those myself, and it was super fun. I just got to look up a bunch of like tech designs and Ultron and Tron and stuff like that. So I just kind of like pulled from a lot of different things and just tried my best to make it look as I had some idea of like, okay, this would technically mean that it does this, and I want a fan here because you probably need one. And also I'm a big fan of Jet Set Radio Future, so I do have some idea of like mechanics of like skates and sci-fi. So I got to just put it all together.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, first off, congratulations. This looks amazing. It looks like, the animation kind of in comic book form in such a great way. What is the most fun about this? Is it kind of learning to kind of get the style down, or is it like you're saying, get to invent kind of things and create different things that didn't exist before? Where do you kind of get... what takes you to your happy place in a project like this?
I think getting the style down was a lot of fun, and even so it's funny because not only, so this is also my first comic book ever as well.
Oh, cool!
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
Congrats!
A lot of firsts. A lot of firsts flying around.
I know. It's also my first book deal out of college.
Hey, you're killing it! You're killing it already! Congratulations!
Thank you. So I had a lot of fun with getting the character style down, and expressions. Expressions is my happy place. Being able to really go home with facial expressions. I think I'm going to call out a bunch of references here, but I'm also a One Piece fan.
Oh, nice! Yeah.
Yes. And I'm a huge fan of Oda and his like wacky facial expressions. So like I always am like trying to evoke that to some degree. So that was super fun. But even stuff like getting the city escapes down, even though, oh my gosh, is that tedious. But another tidbit about me, I went to an architecture high school. So I always, weirdly enough, it's fun, it's tedious, but it was cool. So I just like being able to be the person who got the chance to kind of evoke this really surreal, but not surreal art style for the book. So yeah.
What was it like working with Stephanie Williams, who is the writer of the book? What was the back and forth like on this, if at all?
So there wasn't a lot of back and forth throughout the whole project. She had the script written, but I will say the notes were immaculate. The notes were amazing. And I got to say, I would say my favorite example is that she came up with the descriptions for the teen gang, the Slate Train is what they're called in the story. And the description that she gave for the skin tones were Fenty Beauty makeup foundation numbers.
Very specific.
And when I got that, I was like, this is a winner. When I saw those notes, I was like, whoever this is amazing.
That is ridiculous. You gotta love that.
It's just so perfect. It was such a great way to go about it. So her notes were great, and so I got to know her after the fact. I kind of reached out and I've got to talk to her, and honestly, I call her a friend now. I've gotten to know her. She's just amazing and so generous and helpful. So, and I'm lucky because I will say again, coming in for my first book, I didn't have like an understanding of like who's who in the comic world. And so I go up to people and I'm like, oh yeah, I work with Stephanie Williams. They're like, Stephanie Williams. I'm like, oh yeah.
yeah. I know. Yeah. So now are you working toward another comic, or are you going to use your architecture stuff and just move into buildings?
Yeah. What's your next move?
I'm a comic lover all day.
Tough transition.
My background in college is illustration. So I'm definitely a general like illustration girly, but I love comic books. I definitely want to do more comic books. I would love to get into animation eventually, but I'm really loving being in the comic book world. So it's really nice actually.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Quick question about while you were working on the book, about the process. The show itself is very musical for anybody who hasn't ever seen it. There's like at least one musical number per episode, I think, or at least musical sequence is probably a better way of putting it. What did you listen to while you were drawing, if anything?
Oh, goodness. That's a good question. Okay, so I am a music lover, which is why this is hard, because I have absolutely no idea what I was listening to. Mind you, this was also 3 years of a project, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was a pretty long
one very slow song is...
yeah, really slow song.
500 new Taylor Swift songs.
Oh... Not me, not so much. But I can't. It's kind of hard to say. It's hard to say. I just listen to a bunch of different genres of music. I listen to like a lot of hip hop. I like a lot of alternative pop and rock and metal. So I listen to a lot. So it's hard to say what. Yeah.
So there isn't like a drawing kind of music that you like that kind of puts you in a certain headspace, is what you're saying.
Yeah, no, it's more of a mood. It's whatever the mood is for today. I will say I was writing a story once that had a lot of owl themes. And so I would only listen to Cosmo Sheldrake's Owl album the whole time working on the story.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Just feels right.
Great.
Yeah.
Do you, not to put you on the spot, but do you have anything else lined up or anything else you want to plug at this point?
Well, I don't have any upcoming books quite yet, but I expect hopefully soon that they'll be coming. But I will say, I do plan to do a bunch of conventions this year. I'm now realizing that I can't say which ones yet, but
that's okay.
I would just say like keep a lookout. I'll be doing a good couple of conventions this year, and I'm pretty excited.
Yeah. And if people want information, they can check you out. Your website is asiasimone.com. Is that right?
So my website is asiaillustration.com.
Okay.
And then Instagram is Asia_Simone 405, and Twitter is AsiaSimone 405. So that's where I'm at all the time. Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice.
Asia, congratulations.
Yeah, congrats.
The first podcast interview was okay. I hope we did all right.
It was great. I loved it.
All right. Good to hear it. Congratulations on the success.
Yeah.
This book is great. I can't wait to see lots more from you.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much, and I'm a fan now, so I'm gonna be watching your stuff all the time. So
all right.
All right. Well, welcome to the club.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
See ya.
Later.
All right, there we go. Once again, that was Asia Simone. The book is
Yeah.
called Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur Wreck and Roll. It's in stores everywhere now. I see it.
She killed
at
it.
my
It's
local
awesome.
comic book shop. It's
Yeah.
super
Very
fun.
Cool. Yeah.
If you're a fan of the TV show or if you never read it, I think you can pick it up regardless.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Yeah.
Why don't we bring in our next guest? They are two of the guys behind newer publisher Gungnir, which I'm definitely mispronouncing, but they can yell at me in a second. Ladies and
fun.
gentlemen,
Yeah. That's gonna be
Steve
great.
Orlando and Matt Medney. Welcome to the show.
Hey!
Hello.
Hey.
Yeah.
Isn't Asia fabulous?
Did I
She's
mangle
so
it?
Cool. I love Asia.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
she's
she's
great.
awesome.
Checking her out. Checking her out. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's
Really good.
unbelievable.
So just to introduce you guys, Gungnir is the name based on Odin's spear. This is the tip of Odin's spear as a comic book publisher. It's punk rock is the way that you're selling it. It's edgy. We'll talk about some of the projects. But Steve, we've had you on the show a bunch before. You are the executive editor, the Steve, of Gungnir. And Matt, you are the founder and an author for Gungnir. Just to set it up for anybody who's listening or watching, but why don't we talk about the publisher? Where did this start? How did you get involved? What makes Gungnir different as a publisher?
Steve, do you want to kick it off? You want me to?
Well, I mean, it started with you, so it should start with you. But I will jump in when I join the story for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to create a publishing house that didn't just predicate on voices that sold books, but predicated on finding new voices and being what a traditional publisher really is about, where it's finding voices, honoring older voices, and being that balance. I felt that there was a big hole in publishing for a while between graphic novels and prose, where a lot of things seem to be published just because the creator could sell books. And your ability to sell books is irrelevant to me when it comes to, are you trying to communicate something to the world that's really important? And that should be the first node on a publisher. And then the second is, how do we sell these books for the creators? And Steve and I had worked together when I was at Heavy Metal. And when I had this idea, he was one of the first people I called and was like, is this crazy? Can we do it? What do you think? And I'll let him talk, but he was like, it's definitely crazy. We can do it, but it's definitely crazy. And we're here, I don't know, maybe 18 months now after the first conversation and the Steve Aoki book written by Jim Kruger. And Steve Aoki just came out. We have a slate of books coming out this fall. And yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Nice.
Awesome.
Steve, over to you.
Yeah, well, Matt is correct. We had worked together.
Fact check.
Oh, close one.
I was honestly a little nervous there. He's like, that was absolutely wrong.
Yeah. Total bullshit.
It's been a pleasure seeing you all again. No, it's so Matt and I did work together at Heavy Metal. We had done a variety of books together there, and over time, my being. I mean, you can redact me, Medney, if I say the wrong thing here, but I feel like somehow it eventually started to be like brainstorming ideas about what we could do with Heavy Metal, not just what I could write for them and things like that. How can we capitalize on the brand? How can we rebuild the brand, regenerate the brand? And it's some of my favorite conversations. I love a blue sky conversation. So when the time came to start something new, I can't say I wasn't surprised Matt reached out to me, because I can be a pain in the ass. But I was happy that he did, because I love working with people, publishers who are always looking at the new, and the new doesn't always mean necessarily successful. Of course, that goes part and parcel to trying new things. But after a decade in the business, you do the books and put so much passion into them, and oftentimes the plans for getting the books out there are sort of just the same thing. We're doing the same thing that maybe worked 30 years ago, But we all know that the audience is moving into new areas. So when I see publishers that are going to say, yeah, we'll do what every publisher does, we'll be in comic stores, and of course we'll distribute through the normal distributors. But here are the new things we're going to do to get our content and to get our books in front of the audience we know is there, because things like crowdfunding prove that. Here's the new things we're going to do to get our books in front of new folks as well. Here's how we're going to serve the existing audience and also grow our audience, reach out to untapped audiences. So that was always Matt. And when he reached out, the chance to get behind the wheel creatively of a company and sort of put my own loud mouth where my money is, right? Like, I obviously I'm an egotist. I'm a comics creator. I do think I know what makes a book good more than other people. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. So the chance to actually get behind that and get behind the wheel on the creative side of a company was really, really exciting. So yeah, it's been about 18 months is a long time, but it could have been that. But the point is, it's all been brainstorming. It's been, say the crazy thing, and if it doesn't work, great. If it can't work, great. But maybe it can. And working somewhere where the other people at in the triumvirate, as I called it today, are willing to do a little more work, to be different, to provide different kinds of offerings, I think is really big. And that's not just when it comes to the books we're putting out. I feel safe saying, unless Matt leaps through the modem, building this company has been like having listening sessions with different parts of the industry. That I listen. I've worked for every single comic company except for one that's in America at this point, and none of them, to my knowledge, are willing to pull back the curtain and let certain people in to voice themselves the way we have. We're speaking to managers and saying, what are the things you wish your clients could get that you just you've never seen? What are the things you wish you could see that you never do? We've had that same conversation with retailers. We're trying from the ground up to go to the sources of the people that we're going to be interacting with and create a better company. And yeah, look, that's been, we're always going to be kicking the tires. We're just out of the gate, but that's going to be something to be proud of, and not just creatively, but professionally. So with all that on the table, I couldn't say no. That's the experience.
The only thing I'll say there is he is annoyingly correct when he edits books. His taste is superior. It is very frustrating.
Wow.
Makes sense.
I like that you package a compliment with a nice insult in there.
Yeah.
Well, now you know the Medney special. Actually, that's sort of
you pick it up quickly. Well, I want to say, like you're saying, like stories have to sort of have meaning in the world. Those are the stories you're interested in telling. But that can mean so many things. Can you sort of? Is it about originality? Is it about making an impact? Is it about something else, specific type of storytelling? What does that mean more specifically?
Yeah, I'm a big believer that genre storytellers of today are like the philosophers of yesterday. We don't really have philosophy anymore as like a cultural medium. And I'm a big believer that voices like to use important constructs within society as a degree of separation in genre storytelling to comment on a variety of ideas. The one that sort of really hook, line, and sinker sold me, and I might be getting the name of the episode wrong, but it was original Star Trek Between Two Battlefields, where the episode was coming out during the Civil Rights Movement, and it was the left, white, and right black-faced people on the same planet as the left, black, right, white-faced people, and they couldn't figure out how to get along. And Kirk had to play this diplomat that explained that they were the same species and that there's a vast galaxy of danger out there, and they had to put aside their petty differences to build a better society together because it could be a lot scarier out there. And it was an allegory, obviously, for all the craziness happening in America at the time. And it was that episode when I watched it, obviously not in real time because I'm not old, I don't look that old. That got me really to buy into the idea that science fiction, fantasy, horror can be allegorical to the way that we think about our everyday plights. And that to me really got me excited about just the whole world of storytelling generally. So that is sort of the guiding light, I think, in everything that we tell Steve. I'd love for you to add on to it. But when we're looking at pitches and reviewing drafts of things, it's really through that line is, are we telling a story that if two friends read it, it would be the ignition to a conversation on a Friday night over beers? And would that create a debate scenario for them to maybe better their own perspectives about things? And that's really our guiding light with what we're trying to tell.
Generating bar fights. Got it.
Yeah, bar fights, maybe arena fights. You got to kind of
nice. Yeah.
Matt's underselling it. It's not hard to create fights amongst people. Just say that Wanda could like one-shot Jean.
Wow.
Then hope that you have a bunker of some kind and like a VPN and
So you're on Wanda's side. Interesting. Wow.
Nice.
Nice. Shocker. That's a huge
creators don't take sides, folks. We're on the story side.
Yeah, wow. Put that on a gravestone.
Well, let me ask you about some specific books. So you've talked just sort of like generally about the publishing plan, the idea of it, but just for anybody, again, who's listening or watching who doesn't know the publisher, there are 2 books that are out right now. You got Hero Quest. Wait, did I mispronounce that? Hero Quest by Steve Aoki and Jim Kruger, which I want to get back to in a second. And then you also have Mutant Cats by Morgan Rosenblum and you.
Yes, that's actually coming out later this summer. It got we pushed it back a couple of months so that the long story short, printing overseas is a lot more logistics than I thought, and I'm man enough to say that. And they came in a few weeks too late, and we want to make sure that our reviewers had time to do their thing before it hits stores. So that'll come out soon. Books are in hand. They are absolutely gorgeous. All of our books are hardcover. That's sort of one of our shticks as well. We
nice.
So we have this this saying that if you're going to print a book in 2024, you should make it beautiful for the shelf. I believe most people reading books on the go are probably reading digital versions, and most people reading books at home want something nice to put on their shelf after. So why not make them hardcover? And Mutant Cats is this crazy calamity of chaos. It's The Office meets the IT crowd, but with Space Overture. It's pretty
and cats.
Fun. Yeah, with cats. It's
don't forget that part.
We layer in a lot of interpersonal relationships and office politics and allegories of that nature into the story. But the fun through line is that these cool cats rip a hole in the fabric of reality, and every time they take 2 steps forward trying to fix it, they do something that ignites 10 steps backwards. And it's cosmic chaos at its finest, and it's 5 chapters of bedlam. And Morgan is amazing, creative. I've worked with him for over 10 years now. We've written books for the NFL together. We've written books for Floyd Mayweather and the rock band 311, along with a handful of other amazing musicians like Shaggy. And this was one of our first full-on comedy that we had the pleasure of writing, and it was pretty bonkers.
Didn't we last week? We had that guy who wrote for 311, Floyd Mayweather, and Shaggy, right? That's a weird coincidence.
Wait, really?
No, of course not. That's the craziest lineup I've ever heard in my entire life. How did that happen?
That's my Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Oh man. I started a company with Morgan and 2 other partners, Johnny Handler and Pete Voodoo Bones Russo, in 2016, where we did custom comic books for musicians.
Oh, I just said Voodoo Bones is his mother's maiden name, right?
Yeah. He does at least 2 graveyard seances a week. That's where he gets the name.
Wow.
No, but Hero Projects does custom comic books for entertainers, be it in the music or athletes. And we did actually the first ever official NFL comic book last year with the Seattle Seahawks, Bobby Wagner, the NFL, and the Virginia Mason Franciscan Health Center up in Seattle, a comic book on knowing the signs of stroke through Bobby being a superhero named Space Hawk. instead of the Seahawks. And it was an amazing experience. Coca-Cola underwrote a lot of it along with the hospital system, and we were able to put about 55,000 comics in kids' hands between schools, the stadium, and Emerald City Comic-Con to help educate communities on what they can do to help.
Nice.
That's awesome. Just to get back to these books for a second, I did want to mention, or at least the thing that I wanted to ask you about is like Mutant Cats. I know it's not out yet, but having read the book, we saw some of the art here live on the show. It feels very like Garbage Pail Kids, a little Mad Balls thing going on. Definitely. It's wild, over the top, feels like old school R. Crumb style parodies in a certain sense as well, not just through the art, but also through the writing, but it's a graphic novel.
Totally.
Hero Quest is, on the other hand, this bonkers mashup of graphic novel up every couple of pages, text pages, and then just like singular images with words on them, and it keeps changing up the format throughout. To compare and contrast, these are the first two. These are your salvo. These are the things that you're like, here's what we are. So how does that indicate what you are, given that they are two such wildly different formats of books?
Yeah, I think that actually says exactly who we are, that the format of the book is secondary to the quality of the content. We're trying to put out really different, really interesting, as Steve said, really genre bending and industry pushing, all the buzz phrases that I can think of in a short period of time, stories. The Hero Quest book, Steve Aoki had this brilliant idea with Jim to mesh a prose book and a graphic novel. And we, spend considerable amount of time figuring out how to marry those two. And we thought the best way was to give everyone little doses of each throughout the whole thing, rather than doing 50,000 words and then 90-page graphic novel in the back. We were like, let's give 1,500 words, 6 comic pages, 2,000 words, 6 comic pages. And we wanted the book to feel like a guide to the card game, the card set that he has put out with the book. There's a whole Hero Quest card set, and the whole idea is that book should feel like an almanac, like a Bible of how this Hero Quest world works. So we sort of went through it with that lens, and I think it's a really different and really cool expression of what you can do with the book. Being different and making a book in a way that hasn't really been done before gets me more excited than anything else, because whether it works or it doesn't work, trying something new and something Steve harped on is my favorite thing. I'm not a big fan of doing it the way it's been done, even if it works, because the way it's been done works because somebody did it differently than it was before, and that's why it started working. So I always want to try to push the envelope and see what new things are possible.
Yeah. You got a bunch of other books that are coming up that I'll read out here. We got Chupacabra, which is also by you, Matt, among other people. Stable, which is coming. Beyond Kuiper,
yeah. That's Kuiper's the third printing. That book is near and dear to me. We had a handful of books, Stable included, that we're bringing over to the publisher for second printings, along with Above the Ground, which we're really excited about. A new book that probably isn't on your list that we just announced Thursday last week is Forward as Always by Olin Rogers and Jake Sidwell. If you're familiar with the animated TV show Final Space, that's Olin's TV show. Yeah. He was the creator of it. Jake did the music. And they have this amazing prose sci-fi action adventure. It's amazing. Comes out in October. We put it up for pre-sale last week, and it's already a Barnes & Noble's bestseller. His fans have really come out to support it. We're really excited about that title.
Cool.
Wow.
Now, Steve, I don't see your name on the creator list here. Is that something you're looking to do, or are you all booked up for the foreseeable future?
No, I mean, we're definitely, you will see my name in the future, I think is fair to say. But I did, as you also hinted at, I'm writing a few things right now. So,
yeah.
to say the least. So to probably, I would say, unless something crazy happens, the first year is going to be me editing, at least like the first publication year, just because, as you noted, there's been a lot going on. But that being said, stuff like working at Gungnir and stuff like writing for Marvel back and forth helps me stay fresh, because you're switching up, the type of brain you're wearing that day, right? So we had to hit go on this, and I'm in on the editorial side, but there are things cooking when it comes to comics. I'm guessing, Matt, like I said, it would almost definitely be a 2025 thing, though.
It would be the most heroic writing sprint if you were to get it ready for this year.
Sounds like a challenge. Heroic, Steve.
Well, I think we all know I'm not that heroic. But people have met me. But it's worth saying, like, stepping into an editorial role again has been really great. It's stuff I did in the past, like before I was a submissions editor at 17 when I was in high school, because I thought that was going to be my way into comics. It was not.
Oh, wow.
But and also as a 17-year-old, very qualified to judge like submissions.
Yeah, time to edit. I've experienced the world.
Exactly. But no, creators always have opinions about editorial, and I'm a strong an opinionated person. So again, like, it's exciting to finally put my money where my mouth is and try to actually give folks the type of service and lens that I always say I wanted as a creator. So that's been great. And in the interim, we're cooking comics, and we're cooking some things outside of comics as well that I've never done before. So there'll be stuff on the way.
Excellent.
Nice.
Just to ask you, Steve, about one of your other pieces of comic work, I only bring this up because an hour ago, as the time we're taping, they announced that Agatha All Along is the title of the Agatha Harkness show on Disney Plus with Catherine Hahn. It's coming out September 18th. Maybe that's news to you, I guess.
No. I just mean how it's changed like 5 times, right?
Yes, the final title is Agatha All Along.
I actually thought it was the most brilliant marketing ploy I've seen in quite some time. They leaked the fake title to then make it Agatha All Along. Mm-hmm. Pretty clever.
Very fun. I bring this up because I don't know if you're aware, you are writing a Scarlet Witch ongoing series over at Marvel. Are we going to see any sort of Agatha Harkness tie-in happening around September, October, sometime in the fall, something like that?
Yes. That's easy.
Great.
And by the way, like, that's barely a spoiler, because to ask for the reasons that are obvious, right? So but we used her a little bit, I would note. In the annual. So, and I had a good time. So there'll be something, absolutely. As to what it is, you'll start seeing. Oh God, no, because it's May right now, right? All right, you get clues by the end of the summer as to what it is. I always forget how time works because we work so far ahead.
We almost got him. We almost had him.
So close.
Why we're talking about that book, though, real quick, you are killing it. We have really been loving it, and all the Darcy stuff is just so amazing. So thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, every time the funny thing about that book, well, there's a variety of things, but oftentimes you get critiques, or people will say like, she's a goody two shoes now. Wanda's too nice, and I'm like, are you reading the books? Like most people, like wildly specific and wildly cruel ends at her hands, right? But she's not. I guess she's not like blowing them up like Dr. Manhattan. So you need to be. It goes over a little bit, but that's been my greatest joy is people saying I made her too nice, and she's like damning people to eternal torment.
Yeah. No, it's the whole thing is like very, not Tales from the Crypt, that's probably wrong, but like little outer limits kind of. So I've been loving the tone of it as well.
Yeah,
we love that book. It's great.
Yeah. So Steve, you've been getting critiques that people don't like that the witch is not blowing people up. I heard the greatest insult in that same vein the other day. Someone goes, telling someone to go to hell is very pedestrian. Telling someone that they hope their favorite book adaptation is bad is a real insult. I feel like it's the same vein as that critique that you're getting.
That hurts.
Just to get back to...
I was like, that's personal.
Yeah, that's a sick burn.
To get back to Gungnir, though, before we start to wrap up here, I know we've talked about a bunch of the books, but what do you want to plug? What should people check out? What should they be looking forward to other than, obviously, the books that we've mentioned?
Yeah, I mean, gungnirBooks.com will have all the updates for everything. We just announced our sort of sister company, Iconic Arts, was in the press last week, which is sort of the TV film adaptation arm for all the stuff that we're doing. If our books are the bread and butter of IP, Iconic Arts is looking to make adaptations across gaming, film, television, live events. So that's really exciting that we have this amazing partnership to find ways in bringing these stories to life in other mediums once people experience them as books. And then, yeah, we're really excited about forward as always. Another amazing author, Stefan Petruccia, who edited Beyond Kuiper for me back in 2018 when we were working on the manuscript, has a prose novel, The Stars Within, coming out this December, which we're super excited about. I like to say it's a good old-fashioned Ender's Game-esque story, and it's really, really fun. So when we start sharing that book, you guys should check it out. It'll be really, really cool.
Awesome.
Nice.
And Steve, what about you? Anything else you would like to plug?
When it comes to Gungnir, the thing is that I can't really name the books, right? Because we haven't announced them. But I will say this, I mean, obviously, folks, if you should probably buy my Marvel work so I can keep paying for this house. But beyond that plug, look, what's really exciting is that there is no Gungnir house style. Like the minute and that means that every book is going to have art that is just as subversive and provocative as hopefully the story is. But to that point, like you asked what my favorite one was, and it just like this, the first thing I thought of is this book coming up that the minute I saw who was working on it, because I'm still sort of coming in and getting caught up. I was just, it was the most exciting book in the line for me. And the thing is that like that's gonna be happening. Well, Matt, it's not announced yet, my man.
I'll let you do it. I'm curious enough here. Go for it.
All right. Well, then you can. Yeah. Well, redacted. No. So we're doing a book called Black Lullaby. And just like, and it's like getting a Mad Max meets like, oh my God, the Brian De Palma Phantom of Paradise type vibe to a book with art that like almost looks like the Gorillas. Like it's this wild tattoo-esque pop art.
Wow.
It's still doing like post-apocalyptic sci-fi. And it was just one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Like I can't wait for folks to see it. I can't even blow it up. It was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. So
David Ganacci, and I'm definitely butchering his last name, but you can try to find him. He is a madman. We're so blessed that he decided to do this book with us.
You can find him when that book comes out. Hopefully by the end of the year, he said, hoping that's accurate.
Next year, end of next year.
Same thing.
What is time? What month is it?
Exactly. But so that's the thing. Like I could go on about any of these and the Gungnir books because they are truly, truly unique. And I think that is also something that is relatively special. Nearly every publisher I work at or have worked at has the house style. Sometimes it's a story thing. Oftentimes it's a visual thing. And it's really exciting to have these things coming out and know that like all you know a standard of quality when you pick up a Gungnir book, but you're going to be surprised by what's inside. And I think that's going to be really, really great.
Awesome. Cool. Guys, this is so cool. Just based on the two books that I've seen, it is absolutely wild what you're putting out there. And I can't wait to see what's coming up next. It looks awesome.
Hell yeah.
Congrats.
Really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Talk to you guys soon.
Thanks, guys.
Great stuff.
All right, there we go. Once again, that was Matt Medney and Steve Orlando.
Great to see the Steve again.
Great to see the Steve, and great to see the Bat.
Yeah.
It's time. There you go. But check out all that stuff. They've got a ton of things going on, as we talked about. They're all awesome, and yeah, it's gonna be great. So there you go.
Very fun.
Let's move on with our
Pete
next
and I wearing
section.
the same shirt.
Twinsies. Oh my God.
I put it on today, and I was like, I know.
I felt it. I felt it in the air. Yeah, I was like, I hear you, Justin. I'll put it on.
And we're wearing the same underwear too. But
what?
And we're going to move on with our next section, which is my favorite section because you all make it up. It's your audience question.
Woohoo!
And for audience questions, all you got to do is drop a question over on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X/Twitter. That was hard to say for some reason. And we'll get to it. It could be about absolutely anything. But first, what you drinking? What you drinking? Pete?
Oh, knock, knock. Who's there? It's Landshark. That's who.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I like
Justin?
it every time, every week you say it with the same enthusiasm as if you're saying it for the first time.
Come on, man.
That's just textbook acting.
Good bits don't die.
I had a grapefruit mezcal paloma, and now
I guess we'll take your word for it because you just showed an empty glass. I mean, come on, man.
I saw it earlier. There was.
Oh, you're vouching for him?
What, am
You
I on
vouching for him?
trial? On trial?
Let the record show his glass was empty.
Lagunitas little something something.
Little something, something.
Little something. We got a question here. This is from Michael Emond. Remember when CBC was pure and you just talked about Alex's abs?
Don't.
I do remember that. Oh, gosh. Wow. Thanks, Michael. Thanks for
Hey, Michael. I hope nothing bad happens to you, man, because
You can't see your face. It doesn't matter.
You're
Alex,
the wrong kind of trolling, Michael.
Yeah, what's up?
Is there a chance that this picture has like a clock on it, like it'll run out? Like it's sort of like a Snapchat.
No, this is what's going to go on my tombstone when I'm buried, so everybody knows what I look like.
It's not you, you fucking asshole.
It is.
Take it off the screen.
This is look at my face. Look,
that's not you.
Here, hold on.
You don't look anything like that.
I could do.
Let me be honest. It does look like him.
No, it does not look like him at all.
Look at it. It does.
What show is this?
What show is this?
Yeah,
this is the Gun Show,
Comic
baby.
Book Club. Yeah. The look on your face is like, what? Me? Oh, look, Alex.
I figured out how to do the view properly. There we go. Well, there you go. Great question, Michael. Let's see if we have literally any other questions.
There were a couple earlier.
Oh, here we go. This is an actual question from Michael. Pete, which song will always get you on the dance floor to bust a move? I'd love to know this too.
Michael, there is an answer to this, but because of your bullshit earlier, you're not going to get my answer. So you'll never know. You'll never know, Michael.
It's something really racist. That's why he doesn't want to say it.
Yeah.
Right, Pete?
Just tell us, Pete.
Yeah,
I want to give the power to our fans to, if they ever see you in the wild, press play on a track and you will dance.
I think there needs to be consequences for people's actions, and I think Michael stepped over a line. So
here's the thing. Michael was making a joke and asking a normal question. It's Alex who had the picture.
Yeah, it was me. If anything, be angry at me. Otherwise, I'm going to double down on the idea that you like to dance to the soundtrack of Triumph of the Will.
What?
How about that?
Is it Bust a Move, Pete?
Maybe.
Yeah. Wu-Tang? Something
Wu-Tang?
I know you like Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang?
Look how happy he is.
All right. Speaking of which, Strickler says, what are some bits that you adored that never caught on?
What do you mean by caught on? Isn't it just doing it over and over again?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember. We say a lot of stuff on these shows.
Yeah.
That's true. And we go through little eras of bits.
Yeah.
You know?
To be perfectly honest, like, this is probably too honest, but there's times when people are like, I can't believe you said that about that book. And I literally have no memory whatsoever.
I was hoping Super Type Bananas would catch on more, but,
Definitely is not.
No.
No, banana sales have fallen.
Yeah.
Of you. People are off bananas.
You'll have to check in with us with the stack, but Rough Risers, you know what I mean? Like, I was hoping that would catch on a little.
Oh, yeah. No, that's true. That's true. I do really like Rough Risers.
Rough
Riser.
Riser. Yeah.
Feels like it's catching on. Several people are saying it right now.
Yeah, I have a T-shirt in my drawer right behind me that says it. How popular that is.
All right, we got one from Edward Doherty. If you think back to Wizard magazine days, what piece of news or info about a new comic from them got you most excited as a snot-nosed kid?
Oh, wow.
Snot-nosed. Oh, man. I mean, the stuff I liked the most in Wizard were the, like, random/weird features that they would do. Mm-hmm. Like, one that explained how the scientific background on how a bunch of X-Men's powers worked. And I was like, I believe in this now.
This could happen to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean we were just talking about Wizard magazine and how clutch it was for like information and interviews and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know as much as I enjoyed reading it cover to cover and then miss it dearly.
Yeah, I wish there was something like that. I don't know what the market would be for it, but it was fun. It was a good
A
time.
magazine?
Yeah.
Probably not so hot.
Probably
We do have a
not.
question from earlier on in the show from Nat Towson. CBC live show when? Now we got very close to having this
So
live
close.
show.
Yeah.
Very close. When Pete was in town. And I promise that we will get there this
working
summer, I think. Yeah, we're working on it.
Where there was also earlier in that question that said Justin had a great time at the show last night. How was your Beast show?
It was very fun. I did a show at the new UCB Theater in the sort of right by Union Square. And it was great. Felt great to be just back up on that stage. Nat was there. Some of my favorite stand-ups, Rojo Perez, Gastor Almonte. Lane Quetteris did a bit from her show. It was very fun.
Awesome.
Wow, cool.
Easy Reader says, are you guys ready for Furiosa?
I'm ready. I'm psyched.
Yeah?
I feel like this is one of the more speculated about movies of the summer blockbuster time. And I don't know there's a lot of people who are doubting it. I'm like, what? It's George Miller back on it, coming on the heels of Mad Max. I think it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I think it'll be super fun, wild visually. There was a thing going around where Anya Taylor-Joy, I think that's how you actually pronounce her name, was doing an interview saying she wasn't prepared to talk about her experience doing the movie yet. And people naturally ran with that and were like, oh, it was abusive on set. It was terrible. And I think the more correct take there is I could not imagine being like, George Miller takes you into the desert for a couple of months and is like, here you go. There's men with chrome-plated faces who are chasing after you in real life. Like, that's crazy. Like, you were on a movie set most of this time, and it's like, here's a tennis ball over here. Here's another tennis ball. That's what I'm acting against. Versus this is like, I'm going to kill you for real. Here we go.
Yeah, very little acting involved.
Yes. There you go. I think we have some guesses based on the fact that, Pete, you said there was a secret quiz. These are both from Edward. I think this is what's going on here. He says cheesesteak.
No, I think he was talking about when we were talking about things that were catching on. But
Pete's Punisher Slasher.
Yeah, things that were catching on.
All right.
But if someone wants a hint to unlock the quiz, the answer is in my nerd wall.
Wow. Impossible.
Wow.
Here's a clue.
So
the last clue was in his slipper, a slip of paper in his slipper that had been on stage for 5 years.
Right. But also the clue was, the actual thing was, I would like to do Pete's secret Punisher quiz.
Was the last one, not this one.
Not this one. But I thought we had agreed, like, we had a whole thing set up. Last week on the show, I was like, I'm not behind you on this, and we were going to hint at it. You were like, it's behind me.
Yeah, that's it. I will say, Alex, Pete's hint is a little bit better.
No, Pete's hint is not a better. He's telling people. That's crazy.
Pete, do you ever walk into local businesses and say, I'd like to take the secret Dunkin' Donuts quiz?
Like,
I do like to walk into places and ask them if they do have any secrets that I can unlock.
I believe you.
Yeah, sometimes it goes over well, and sometimes it does not.
Just like
Stanley says, are you guys excited to finish X-Men 97?
Nervously excited.
Hell yes. Cannot wait.
I'm going to wake up at 3. You guys waking up at 3? You're going to watch at 3?
Nope.
I haven't slept in days as it is. So I'm riding this train all the way to X-Town.
Yeah. Cannot wait. Very excited. This series has been great. Edward Doherty says, are you guys aware of Eric July and his comic company? Have you read any of them, and what are your thoughts on the guy? I have no knowledge of this whatsoever. Do you guys have?
Also no idea.
Well, I've heard of Eric August, and I'm familiar with his company, but not Eric July. So maybe it's a different Eric.
No, same.
Well, we'll have to look into that, I guess. Matt says, I miss you guys. It's me, the 12 Bench.
The 12 Bench!
The 12
And he
Bench.
follows up by saying, I told my girlfriend I miss hearing Corby Dorby Doodle. It's a good month.
12 Bench. Just when we were doing great, you had to ruin it.
Why, with
we got to follow up on the George Miller conversation. Would you like to see George Miller direct Hemsworth in a Thor movie? I think George Miller said that he would be like, yeah, great, I'll direct Chris Hemsworth in anything. He's awesome. So immediately people were like, get him on Thor 5. Let's go. What do you think about that?
Tonally different.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. Yeah, the last Thor movie was a lot of fun, and that would make it go in a different direction. So,
I've seen this online sentiment where like, yes, it is time for the jokes to end. Let's take Thor seriously. It's like, I don't know, maybe not.
Maybe
you want
not.
a serious Thor? Watch the first one, you psychos.
There you go. I mean, but there's jokes in the first one and the second one as well. But like, calm down. We do not need a deathly serious operatic Thor movie. Like, if we get one, fine. But it isn't like, no more jokes. No more fun in the movie theater. I don't know.
I demand Thor with his wing hat and sort of large hammer be taken serious.
We can't go back there. We can't get back to the I demand to be taken seriously 12 people standing on a step thing. Like, I can't do it. I don't know. Yeah. Let's just like go forward as a society. Schreckler says, you get the power of your least favorite X-Men character.
Oh no.
Powers, and what is your
No. I don't want to be Cyclops.
Ooh, that's some good comeuppance right there.
Mm-hmm. Fuck, you're a Cyclops.
Least favorite X.
I mean, I love them all.
Me too.
Wait, Justin, weren't you saying Beast was your least favorite, or was that Alex?
No, I definitely.
We don't. They're not using Beast well on the TV show, right?
On the X-Men '97, and we've just seen Beast be a villain for quite some time in the comics, so it's not a great time to be a Beast fan.
I would say, I don't know. There's a couple of them, but like Exodus, I just don't get at all. I don't know.
Oh, you mean the most powerful, like dork X-Men?
Exodus.
It's just, I don't know. I miss that.
I mean, the answer that comes to mind, but I actually like her as a character, is Dr. Cecilia Reyes, who was an X-Men who refused to have a handle, has force field powers, and then was like, was an X-Men for like a minute. It was like, I hate this. I'm going to go back to being a doctor.
She's going to be on the X Factor team they announced on the new one coming up.
I can't wait to see her be miserable.
Well, there you go. Great questions, everybody.
I actually have a question.
Wait. I just want Schweikler clarified you come up with your own name. So I guess if I had to be Cyclops, my name would be I'm a shitty leader. Go ahead, Justin. What were you going to say?
That would be you finally got his goat. You're shooting red laser beams out of your face, and your name is...
I would have the powers of Exodus, but I'd be Buff Grimace.
Wow. That melted my brain.
It's a great nickname for you in general. The thing I was going to say, just an actual audience question. I've been listening to Comic Book Club News. That's my main primary news source. And sort of tracking the monthly sales as they've been going forward. And it's striking to me how badly DC is doing.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Like,
that's weird because they got great books out.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, has there been a slip in quality? Is it just Marvel books are selling more? What's different here? Because I find that to be shocking.
It is pretty shocking, and it's something that I was thinking about as well, particularly after like the last month when they really didn't chart at all. And to note, this is
outside the top 20.
Yeah, there's no, just to give like a little caveat here, the stuff that I've been using for Comic Book Club News is sourced from ICV2, which is a great website. Like, they're very business focused, very locked up in their facts, and they source it. I'm forgetting, I think it's like ComScan or something like that. Whatever it is, there's no central like Nielsen for comics. It's all just a relatively small sample set. So they're talking to a couple of 100 comic book stores, which I think is like a good amount of comic book stores, which is why I use that data when I'm talking about it. And it's more about like, it's not giving you specific numbers, but it is giving you the scale of, okay, Something is Killing the Children is a perennial bestseller. Or on the graphic novel charts, TMNT, The Last Ronin, has been there for years at this point. So you know, beyond comic book shops, that has broken through to the mainstream. Like, it's very clear that is a runaway success. So to that point, like, DC has been getting less and less of that single issue sales on their charts, to the point where, they weren't really in the top 20 at all in April. I think one of the things is probably volume, frankly, because like Marvel's volume of books is out of control. I legitimately think like they release 15 to 20 books, if not more, every single week. That is so many books, versus DC has about half of that. So that's one of the things that I'd point to. I don't know what the other thing is. Like, maybe it's too insular.
Well, but that wouldn't affect the individual sales, right? That just would be like a mass sort of a money.
Well, it would, because people have a certain amount of money, right? So if they're going in and they're like, God, I only have $16 to spend and I can get 4 books. There are this many Marvel books I need to get. I'm going to get 3 of those in one DC, or 4.
Well,
but I mean, Nightwing
people are walking in the store blindly picking comics, when really I think they're going in there and choosing what they want.
I mean, Nightwing has been phenomenal. There's been so many great DC titles. I just find that very shocking.
It might also be the numbering, like just to look at it from a callous business perspective, which this is something that Marvel said they really want to get away from, and I think laudably so, because it's an easy win, but it's not a good win, is renumbering everything as number 1. Like, people want to walk in and they're like, yeah, I'll get a number 1. That sounds good. Even if it's actually number 359 or whatever, versus DC is mostly not doing that and sticking with their legacy numbering. So it's much harder to walk in and be like, yeah, all right, I'll pick up Action Comics 1059, versus if it was renumbered number 1 for the beginning of House of Brainiac or something.
I just don't know, I guess how many just kind of strangers are walking into a comic book shop for the first time going, I'm going to try this, and the numbering is going to throw me off. You know what I mean? I figure
but it's not even strangers. I'm talking about like comic book fans.
What are we talking about, strangers?
Well, he's saying like, I mean, who's walking into a comic shop who's
mysterious strangers?
Yeah, you talking about like a Carmen Sandiego type? Trench coat, glasses, big hat.
Yeah, like,
2 kids standing on top of his shoulders.
Oh, no, we were saying different things. Yeah, I take it back. No, I'm saying, like, there are always impediments to these sort of things. Plus, added the fact that less people are buying comics in general. There are more entertainment choices that I think any way you can take away an impediment there to somebody buying something in terms of a choice, the better off you're going to be. And maybe DC just doesn't have that ground game for the single issues. They definitely do for graphic novels in general, maybe not month by month, but like everybody, it's been very open secret for a very long time that DC knows what they're doing in terms of getting trades into bookstores, and Marvel does not. Probably much to their frustration, that's something they need to figure out. But I don't know. I think that just comes down to relationships, placement, all of those things. I don't know. That's not necessarily a good answer. Like, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm just kind of like speculating here.
I was just thinking you were going to say DC bad, Marvel good.
Yeah. Sorry.
But I guess I'm more curious about, is there a creative difference happening right now? Because I think all of what you said, Alex, is like good business backing, but it does feel like this shift happens every couple years where one of the big 2 publishers just starts to get hot. And it feels like more people are reading one and the other is struggling a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, what do you guys feel right now? Because like, I go back and forth. I think we all go back and forth. I definitely feel like I like the DC books better, and I'm more interested in the DC books right now than I am the Marvel books.
But Alex, I would counter that with saying the blood hunt has begun.
I'm not saying they're bad.
Red band, motherfucker. Let's get gross.
But Marvel is definitely in a, like, we are a superhero comic book company with few exceptions right now, versus DC stuff with Black Label, with everything that everybody's trying in terms of ongoing storytelling. I think there's more chances being taken over there right now. So it is surprising to me when I see that happen. But then, like, the top selling books are the Ultimate Comics. So I think that comes back to, it's a new number one. It's a fresh, even though it's actually not. It's the most complicated version of the Ultimate Universe possible. But people are hyped. Like, Ultimate Spider-Man is an actual breakout hit.
Yeah, and it is good. But I think it's also like big name creator, big character, new, fresh take and start. And if that's maybe what people are looking for, that is definitely not happening at DC. Yeah. Where like they're really reinventing. And I would say also, like, it feels like we've been telling this Amanda Waller story for our entire lives.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And so maybe that is getting people a little like, I think I read this before. When it feels like if Marvel is succeeding more on a creative front, it feels like they're doing the opposite. They're saying, you've never read this before.
Maybe at least part of it on the DC end. I was thinking about this a little bit earlier today. There have been a lot of rumors, and we don't know actually what's going on here, but there's been a lot of rumors that, like, in the background, Scott Snyder and maybe a couple of other people are working on something that is not supposed to be a complete Crisis-style reboot of DC or anything like that, but something coming out. There was a rumor that it was like, it sounded just like Black Label, but kind of in continuity. Maybe, which is weird. I don't know.
What does that mean? Just bad things happen more often in the world?
I guess so. I'm not 100% sure. Whatever it is, we don't actually know what it is. But I was.
Are we in a Black Label imprint in our reality?
You've seen my penis, right?
What?
Like Batman.
Yeah, Pete? That's what you said when you were showing.
Don't
is this
bring
one of those
me into
bits
this
that you don't think work, but maybe we should revisit later?
No, we have to keep repeating it.
No,
Sorry, Alex, what were you saying?
All I was saying was, I wonder if, like, DC is sort of holding their breath. Like, they're like, yeah, we're putting out this stuff, and we like this stuff, and we like the stuff we're putting out. But the big thing that we're doing is a couple of months down the road, and that's really what we're going to put our energy behind. I don't know.
All right.
See. Good question. No good answer.
From me.
From you. And Pete, it's your turn to bring the question next week. But for the moment, let's turn it over to you, Pete, for trivia.
All right. This is the part we give back to you, the lovely audience. It's an opportunity to win $25 free dollars to Midtown Comics online. Because if you had $25, you go to a comic book shop. And all we need is one brave volunteer.
Or one terrified volunteer. That's
or
fine too.
Somebody say, make Justin do it, and then we donate to charity.
Just make a decision. Do you want a Midtown Comics gift card, or do you want to steal from charity?
David's in.
David wants to do it. He wants to steal from charity. There we go.
All right.
Now it's time for Steal from Charity. Let's turn it over to Pete.
All right. Okay. Today's trivia is on comic book artists and a small nod to the legend Terry Carter, R.I.P. Please listen to all three options before making your selection. Here we go. Question number 1. This 13-time Eisner winner was famous for his art style and known for DC's New Frontier and his take on the spirit. Who is it? Is it A, Darwin Cook, B, that Robert kid is too young, who, C, Bob Miner?
Edward Doherty is dropping the teacher's key.
Edward Doherty says A, B, A, and the movie is Billy Madison.
Oh, wow. That's fun. That's fun, Edward Doherty, but you're wrong.
Ooh, what part? What part is he wrong about?
I know he's wrong about question 2.
Yeah. Because that's definitely an A. Gary Carter? Is it Gary Carter? What are people saying in here? A?
A is correct. All right. Here we go. This hilarious and amazing artist began her career at Archie Comics, but her work on Harley Quinn and Power Girl is what she is known for. Who is it? Is it A, Amanda Conner, B, stop with the double names because you can't decide, C, Roy Don Clark?
Roy Don Clark?
What? Oh, man. Double names. Roy Don Clark.
A? Nat says A.
And Nat does say A.
Nat's had a couple.
A is correct. All right, here we go. Question number 3. This legend was born in Ithaca, New York, and is synonymous with colors. Who is it? Is it A, Tim Sale, B, the wood guy who isn't John Cena, or C, John Cedar?
Wow. Particularly unhinged.
Yes.
Wait, and I think Nat's stealing the answers. Does he get to win the prize?
No, he doesn't get to win the prize, but he does win it for our contestant here.
Yeah.
So I think
it is A.
Hey, there we go. Congratulations. You are getting a gift card to Midtown Comics. Shoot us an email and we will get that off to you. Pete, what is the secret movie?
Of course, we're talking about the 1974 hit Foxy Brown.
Nice.
Sure. Of course we are. Of course that's what we're talking about.
I wouldn't say we're talking about it, but yeah.
Foxy Brown.
As we all know, comics are cool and we love talking about them. Justin, what are you looking forward to?
Oh, Justin's going first.
Yeah, why not?
Yes, time to shake it up. It's a great time to choose me because I bet you Pete's going to say at least one of these I'm about to say.
Don't take them all.
Because Ice Cream Man
is
coming out, and man, I love this book. I can't wait to read this issue. It puts a smile on my face.
Oh, my God.
Whenever it's out there in Stacktown. So looking forward to that. Also want to shout out Fish Flies number 6 by Jeff Lemire. Enjoying that book. It's the most Jeff Lemire book you can find in the stands.
It's true. It's true.
Pete, what about you? What are you looking forward to?
Well, I got Ice Cream Man number 39 on my list. It is glorious, and people need to recognize how great this comic is. Uncanny Valley number 2, and the number 1 that I'm looking forward to so much that I'm actually going to go out to a comic book store just to get this comic, and that is Doom number 1.
Because you're a huge Jonathan Hickman fan, right?
Nope. It's the least favorite part about that comic, but it's Sanford Green does the art. And I'm a big Doom head. I love me some Doom.
Oh, nice.
Really?
I am looking forward to Dark Ride number 12 is coming out from Image Comics.
Oh,
That's
of course
the
you
last
are.
issue of that title about a really messed up theme park. Also, Outsiders number 7. That book has been really intriguing. After the reveal in the last issue, they're finally really delving into the whole planetary thing. I'm interested to see how they treat that. And I will trio Ice Cream Man number 39, which is wild. 2 other quick ones to throw out there. X-Men Forever, number 4. Loving that crazy series. Can't wait to talk to you guys about that. And I Heart Skull Crusher, number 3 from Boom Studios. Very fun, post-apocalyptic, all-ages story. Very briefly got to talk to Josie Campbell today for My Adventures with Superman, so that was very nice. She was a delight. But yeah, there you go. And that is it for this week's show. A couple of people we want to thank. We want to thank Steve, Orlando, and Matthew Medney for coming on to talk about Gungnir. Check out all the books they've got. Also, Asia Simone for talking about Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. Wreck and Roll. Very fun, all-ages book. Check that out. Next week on the show, we're going to have Vera Broskal is going to be here to talk about Plain Jane and the Mermaid, and also Aubrey Sitterson and Megan Hutchinson are going to be here to talk about Archie Comics Judgment Day. Their new
huge
primo crossover event. Very excited about that.
Primo.
Comic book Club news, as we mentioned, comes out every day of the week, Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. Marvel Vision, our Marvel podcast, getting down to it for X-Men 97. Very excited to talk about that final episode. Patreon.com/Comic Book Club to support this show and all the shows we do. Don't forget to subscribe on Apple, Android, Spotify, or the app of your choice. At Comic Book Live on Twitter/X, Comic Book Club Live on Instagram and TikTok, comicbookclublive.com for this podcast and many more. Until next time, we'll see you at the Comic Book Club.
Yeah.
See you later. Pete and I wearing the same shirt from 2012.
So grab your grip and hammer. Don't be late for it, 'cause their girlfriends can barely tolerate it. Comic book club. Comic book club. Comic book club.
Feel better, stray bullies.
Yep. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. Bye.